My name is Gabriel Freitas, and I'm going to be presenting today on the Organizational and Personal Human Resources Development Plan. Within this project, we are going to be discussing our human resources partnership with Advent Health. It is a healthcare company, and we're going to be focusing on how this partnership helps acquire, develop, and maximize the human capital within the company. We're going to talk about the strengths, the processes that we already have in place, as well as some strategies to continue to leverage this team member strengths. We're going to propose some enhancements for more partnership with our human resources team, as well as some leadership recommendations. And lastly, we're going to finalize it with um, my personal um, experience within this course and some key aspects that I learned that are going to help my practice and my leadership moving forward. At Advent Health, we already have a strong partnership in place with our human resources department, with the main goal of acquiring, developing, and training and leveraging the human capital. It all starts with a strategic recruitment. When we partner with our HR team as well as our talent acquisition team, we're looking for clinical competency as well as for individuals that are mission fit. And once we do find those individuals, we want to have a structured onboarding to make sure that all the team members that are coming in are getting all the information that they need, um, and that we have some consistency in that process. Now, afterwards, we are focusing on development, team member development. We do have some resources available, such as tuition assistance as well as student loan repayment programs. But we also have opportunities for them to grow, such as clinical ladders, as well as performance discussions that happen every month between the team member and their direct leader. And I will go more into this on the next slide. Lastly, once the team member is there, they're developed, we want to make sure that they're part of the decision-making process within the hospital. And we do so by shared governance. We do have unit practice councils as well as campus practice councils that our team members can choose to join so that they can have this shared decision making within the campus. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the current processes that we have in place in terms of team member development as well as onboarding in terms of pros and cons. Starting with our pros, as I mentioned, we do have the monthly cadence one-to-one connections with our direct leader, which is great because you get that feedback more than some companies do yearly evaluations. In our case, we actually get that feedback as close to real time as possible. The other pro that we have in our process right now is all the development opportunities that I mentioned, including shared decision making, clinical ladder, as well as opportunity for tuition reimbursement and student loan repayment programs in case our team members do wish to go back to school. Now, our process does have some opportunities though. One of them that I have found is within the one-to-one connections with their direct leaders. The overall goal is that the leader would be able to tailor those conversations to the team members' needs. But when we do that, we lack structure. So a team member may be missing parts of the conversation that we would want the leaders to be having with them. So that is something that we are currently working on to improve, is to provide this structure to these conversations. The other piece of it is that once we have these informal conversations as opposed to um, yearly, annual, in-depth evaluation, there is a lack of measurable standards that we would be expecting from the team members, or perhaps different standards being expected from different team members. And that is definitely an opportunity for improvement on our end and something that we can do better so that we can provide a more structured approach to our team. Currently, the healthcare field is facing a shortage of nurses, as well as increased demand for other ancillary team members, which makes the market more competitive. Therefore, nurse leaders really have to partner with human resources to make sure that we have a strategic recruitment as well as a structured onboarding process in place. Now, in terms of the recruitment, as I mentioned before, we're looking for that clinical competency as well as someone that is mission and culture fit for Advent Health. But in terms of our onboarding process, uh, as a way for us to elevate the team members' strength, is that we're integrating the principles of excellence right into the orientation, as well as our expectations straight into the orientation process. We're focusing on readiness as well as resilience because it is a high stress field, but we're making sure during that onboarding process that the team members understand the mission and they can use the strength to collaborate with the mission so we can achieve the same goal. So before we can even leverage the employee strengths, the first step we need to take is to recognize those strengths. And we do so by having these performance reviews, one-to-one connections that I mentioned previously. Once the team leader recognizes the strengths of the individual team members, the next focus must be engagement, team member engagement. And that's one of the areas in which our human resources team plays a big role at, because it's part of their role to assist with team member engagement. As we engage our teams, it will not only improve the shared decision-making process, but our teams are going to start using the strengths to problem solve, to identify problems, as well as create a problem-solving plan. And because we're involving all our team members, we are going to be problem solving through diversity because every person um, will see a situation from different eyes, and they might have a plan, an action plan different from someone else. So getting the team members engaged and into the shared decision making and promoting diversity to address problems in different manners is one of the best ways that we can think to utilize our team members' current and individual strength for the overall goal of Advent Health. As I previously mentioned, Advent Health already has a robust human resource partnership. Although, as a proposed plan, I do believe that if we were to integrate an HR consultant position to each specific service line, because they are so different after all, that person, that HR consultant, would function as an advisor to the leaders of the department, not only on operations but also on employee relations matter. They would strengthen the onboarding process as well as facilitate the competency validation process. And they are also data experts in terms of turnover, engagement, and productivity trends, which would help with this workforce analytics. These meetings with the manager of the unit would facilitate them creating a plan together for improvement in either one of these areas. Advent Health is a faith-based organization. Therefore, having this HR role also promote Christian worldviews would make this collaboration even more effective within the organization. One of the things that this HR role would have um, as part of their qualities of their jobs would be to promote fairness in the hiring process, compensation, accountability, as well as improve retention within the unit by focuses on employee well-being as well as a welcoming cultures, which are all go back to this Christian worldview which balance compassion with accountability. I have always been a strong advocate for shared decision making as well as shared governance. And as I mentioned, in Advent Health, we have a couple of options at this time as a unit practice council as well as a campus practice council. But I do believe that there is an opportunity for us to have a bigger multidisciplinary approach involving not just nurses throughout the campus or physical therapy throughout the campus, but actually having collaborations within those specialties that would improve transparency, accountability, as well as trust and understanding in between all these disciplines. Now, once we have those team members being part of the shared decision making, this would facilitate making decisions based on their actual workflow realities, because often decisions are being made from above, and they don't really, leaders sometimes lose grasp of what the workflow really is like on the floor. Therefore, having that input from direct care, direct frontline team members would be instrumental in the success of this shared decision-making process. Currently, within our organization, leaders meet with their human resource partners on a monthly cadence. Therefore, I do believe that there's an opportunity for this collaboration to be made stronger. As we have previously discussed in this presentation, our human resource partners' goals and the goals of the nurse leaders are aligned. And together, by having this form of shared decision making and involving our HR leaders, we would have more effective and more efficient strategic planning discussions. Um, our HR partners could help leaders on some of the um, areas in which they are held accountable for themselves, such as employee engagement and employee retention, as well as they would just provide that overall support um, for not only compensation, but also fairness, as well as optimizing the organization performance of the unit. This course added a lot of value to my leadership journey. And I could speak on a lot more than just these four, but these were four, I would say, golden nuggets that I took from this course that I'm going to carry for the rest of my leadership career. The first one is the importance of this collaboration with our human resource leadership. I will definitely be proposing that we do have that strength and collaboration moving forward. Our second one is how having a Christian worldview um, can have an amazing impact on the unit. Like I previously mentioned, I already work in a faith-based organization, so I do experience that firsthand. But doing my own research and actually seeing the data and the studies on this just was completely eye-opening, which supported what I already felt, but now I have data to back that feeling. Third is continue to invest in team member development. That is something that is not only key for retention, but also for succession planning, as well as better patient care and team member engagement. So developing our teams and strategies to develop our teams are definitely something that I am going to continue to implement and continue to focus on finding new strategies so we can continue to develop our teams. Lastly, is that shared decision making through collaborations. I do believe that once we do create that collaborative environment in between the disciplines and we have this shared decision making, we are able to facilitate problem solving as well as to gather ideas that perhaps we didn't before because we didn't see the problems from the eyes of that other discipline. So those are the four golden nuggets that I'm taking away with me that I am gonna apply to my everyday leadership practice. But there's mountain of knowledge that I've gained from this course and the assignments, including this PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.